Hi, I'm Laurent Fourgo. Welcome to my cooking show. Today we're going to be doing a crepe. The recipe is based on my sister Sandrine's recipe that she got while working as a summer job in Biarritz in the southwest of France. Great recipe if you love crepe. So here are the ingredients. We're going to start with 4 organic eggs, 6 ounces of flour, 3 ounces of unsalted butter, 3/4 cup of whole milk, 3/4 cup of regular water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and a dash of salt, without forgetting some good rhum. Donc la recette est très facile. C'est basé sur la recette de ma sœur Sandrine. Et donc, on commence par 4 œufs bio, 170 g de farine blanche, 85 g de beurre non salé, 170 ml de lait entier, 170 ml d'eau. On va prendre aussi une cuillère à thé de sucre et puis une petite pincée de sel, sans oublier un petit peu de rhum pour donner du goût extra. So you have all the ingredients, so let's not waste any time. Let's get going. Let's get cooking. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to start with the butter. We're going to melt it in the microwave. Here we go. While it's melting, I'm going to break the eggs. So the 4 eggs. I start with the eggs because if there is a bad egg, I can always take it out and replace it. If something goes wrong, you can always correct it. Eggs are in the bowl. I'm going to be adding the water. And then after, I'm going to start adding the flour. And I'm going to start with the mixer. You could use a manual mixer. I just go with that, it's easier. I'm on the lower speed. Then after, I'm going to keep adding some flour. When you see that it's getting a little bit thicker, you can always, you still have your milk that you need to use. So you can add the milk. Adding more flour. I'm adding the entire flour now. I'm going to add the milk, the remaining of the milk. Don't forget to take the butter, that should be melted now. I like to let it sit a little bit, so you just keep on doing that. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, not much. Then I'm adding the teaspoon of sugar. And I'm going to be adding the butter now. That's fine. So basically, the liquid is kind of yellow, which is a nice color, and it's kind of fairly liquid. So you need to be able to have this kind of liquidity in the pat you're going to be using and pouring in the saucepan. And you can, keep doing that a little bit more if you want, but at this point it's pretty mixed. And like I said, don't forget to add the rhum. So basically it's really based on your taste, how much you want to add as a rhum. 1 big spoon. And you know what? Why not put everything? So then after, you go back and mix it up a little bit. Not much, there is some nice rum flavor that comes out. And the first part is done. Now what we're going to do is There is two schools. One, you can use the pat right away to make some crepe. That would be my sister's school. Or what you can do is to put it in the fridge for maybe 30 minutes, an hour, just let it cool and start doing the crepe afterwards. So I think I'm going to put it a little bit in the fridge for 5 minutes, and I'll meet you back in front of a stove to cook the actual crepe. See you in a bit. In front of a stove now, we're going to cook the crepes. So I always start with heating up the pan, kind of high, just to get it warm. It's induction cooking, so it goes very, very fast. Then after, you need some olive oil, or you can also use coconut oil, which is great. So then after, you just have a little bit of this oil at the bottom of the pan, all over, even a little bit on the side. Especially the first one. The first one is going to be hard. Usually it's not a good one, but it gets the process, going. So I took the pat out of the fridge. I let it kind of rest for 30 minutes. And then after, you're going to need to give it a try to see, how much pat you really need. So I usually go for a quarter of it. And then put in the center. And you roll like that. Then after, you put it back. So depending on the thickness you want on the crepe, that's why you're going to need to adjust the amount of pat that you're using. So if you like them very, very thin, which is very nice, that's the way I like them, you don't need much pat. So you need to make sure that it's spread out evenly at the bottom of the pan. If you want thicker, especially, you can in fact use that pat to make some salted crepes, and you can put anything inside, like some mushrooms, some chicken, whatever you feel like. So it works as well. It's not going to be that sweet, and in fact the rhum, you're not going to feel it taking over all your different ingredients you're going to be putting in. So maybe if you put some salted ingredients in it, you want the crepe a little bit thicker. This way you can roll it, and it's maybe better to eat. So it goes pretty fast. So then after, you go with your utensil right here, and you see, if it's starting to be if it's easy to detach. So it needs to be a little bit more cooked here, and we're gonna flip it. I think it's ready to be flipped. So take it and flip it. So like I said, the first one is very hard to do. So usually it's kind of messed up. After flipping it, for example, you're going to see on the second or third one, it should be a little bit not burned, but kind of a nice dark yellow, kind of orange color. So you will see on the second and third one the way it looks. Right now it seems like it still look uncooked. The recipe is going to give you probably 20-25 crepes. So you can cook all of them at once if you like, and then after you're going to eat them cold. Or what you can do is you can cook them as you go. So if you cook some crepe to be eaten with salty ingredients, you just cook them. It takes like 5, or you can even have 2 pan going at the same time, and you can cook that in 6-7 minutes for 2 or 3 people, and this way it's still warm. You can put some cheese, it's going to melt, and all the ingredients that you picked, and then after you roll it and eat it. So usually you just flip it once. Here it's the first one, so I'm going to flip it multiple times. The first one is always unusual. When done, put it on a nice plate. So it seems like the pan is still a bit greasy, which is good. So in fact, I'm not going to add any oil. I'm going to just put the pat directly. So when you have some holes, what you do is you just add a tiny bit of pat just to go over. There we go. That's it. So I'm going to show you a few of them, and then after it's going to be your turn to do that at home. I think we can check if it's ready to flip it right here. I'm going to flip it right here. Look at this nice color all over. So you see it's starting to be evenly cooked. All right, I think this one is good. Take it out. So I like every 2 or 3 crepes to put back some oil to make sure that you can take the crepe out. Here we go. Same technique. So I'm going to put a little bit more pat this time. And here we go. So now it seems like the pan is pretty hot, so what you should be checking is maybe to reduce the heat. We're going to let it cook a little bit here. What you can put anything in it. I like to have, you know, regular sugar in it. Some people put jam, any kind of jam. And I know some people love to put Nutella. Et donc avec ces crêpes, vous pouvez rajouter ce que vous voulez. Moi j'aime beaucoup rajouter du sucre. Vous pouvez rajouter de la confiture. Et je sais qu'il y en a qui aiment beaucoup le Nutella. Rajouter du Nutella dans ces crêpes. Surtout des gars vers les alentours de Hauteville. Ils aiment beaucoup le Nutella avec les crêpes. Je pense que vous vous reconnaissez, hein, les garçons. This is the crepes. We made it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And if you like to support the show, please make sure to share it on Facebook, on Google+, on Instagram, on Twitter. Anywhere you like. I still need those clicks, especially at the start of our cooking show. I am Laurent Fourgo, and this is Cooking My Way.